Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are, brother. That's it. It's go time.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Tom.
And we are the Tom and Trey Show.
We are. So I do want to cover that real quick, right before we started this. So hopefully that is our entry point.
Yeah.
But there's times you may hear what it sounds like an exuberant amount of noise from the amp, and that is not the case here. What it is, if the mics die, which would be my fault, but I'm okay with that. But then the phone is constantly changing to try to pick up what's in the room, because when I listened to that last video too, I could hear the hiss, but that hiss, what you actually hear is when the amp's playing.
Yeah.
That hiss is gone.
You're right.
So
yeah,
the true depiction of the amp is when it's being played.
That's
it is
correct.
not when it's sitting here, because there's times it may be the microphones are picking up something that's not actually that we hear.
Yeah, which is
we
wild.
see the video.
Yeah, because it's trying to amplify those things.
Yeah, man. Right.
Yeah.
It just keeps zooming in and trying to focus.
That's exactly what it's doing.
So, but anyhow, so what are we doing? I know what we're doing, but I'll let you explain it anyhow.
Yeah, so this is a cool video. So, awesome thing we just did. So, in the back of this, what was that? A nickel-covered brass block.
Yeah.
And so I had asked Tom, I was looking online, and he had told me earlier about getting a steel block in it.
Yeah, man.
And so as I was looking, and we were trying to discover, what's out on the market, most of those blocks are not very big. And they're not really big blocks, even though they're advertised as so. And
the only ones I've seen that were really to spec are the big brass blocks.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I have not seen, at least in our continent, big steel blocks.
Big steel block, right? And so I feel so lucky because Tom went home and made me one from scratch.
Yeah, on Bridgeport.
And so not only does this have his amazing pickups, which are amazing.
They sound good in that guitar.
They sure do, don't they? Now it has the steel block inside of it. And so the block is about, it's pretty thick. It's like about
a half inch. It's half inch.
So about what are the dimensions? Just curious.
I do know the thickness is a half inch, because basically I had some half inch plate, and that's what I used to cut out. The other dimensions, I went on and found their metric measurements. Like the hole centers are, the height is 37 millimeters.
Yeah.
The hole centers are 34 millimeters.
Very cool.
Things like that. And then I have a couple blocks as well, but the standard measurement, I can't recall right off the top of my head.
No, that's okay.
Everything into metric, and that way it would fit.
Yeah. And this is
German made.
Yeah, and this is a little unique too, because this has a very thin cavity. So
thankfully, right when you sent that picture, that was an eye opener, because I was thinking, I'll go wide as I can.
Strat cavity, right?
Yeah.
So we had
with that being said, right, that was good, and it was interesting because it's a full size cover, but it's narrow at the block.
Yeah, which is
all the way through. So normally, as well, I'm just explaining this for those that may not know. Normally, that cavity where the springs is at is somewhat narrower, and then it will fan out like on a Strat for the block assembly.
Yeah.
But on that, it is one continual narrow path from spring claw to tremolo block.
It is unique, yeah. And I noticed a big difference right away just in the sound of it.
When you sent me the text, not mean to interrupt, but I thought, he must put that block in, but I hope he ain't talking about the other guitar.
Yeah, because I sent you the picture of the other Strat. Well, I sent you a video, that's why.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had also done the new Ultralux videos, and they sound great too.
They do.
But this is a different beast altogether. This is, nothing against Fender, because those are cool guitars too, but this is a different animal.
Right. So, and I will say that as well, and I'm a caveman player, and that's probably why I'm not going to play, to be honest with you, on here very often.
But
cool, when I held that guitar last week while we were doing something, the action from really the nut to the last fret is incredibly low.
Right.
And that's why I asked you have nines on this?
It feels like
because
nines.
It felt there was no tension on that. And that, that's practically impossible. I mean, let's be honest. So it's a 25.5-inch scale length. To tune a note to a certain pitch requires a certain amount of tension.
Yeah.
You're not going to change that tension, but the way that played just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Is how good that guitar is. So there is, sometimes you get what you pay for, and that's one of those things.
Yeah, and what's really wild, I'm really happy because so in a nutshell, the neck got replaced, right? We got a new neck for it. and it had sat in my closet. Like I played it on and off, but I think it was like a combination of the neck just wasn't quite broken in yet. You know, things take time to kind of adjust and guitars kind of gel together, right?
I got to be honest with you. There's times I fall in and out of love with guitars.
Exactly.
So I'll pick up the next one. I think, oh, this is incredible. So right now my quest is the Gretsch. I'd like to have an old Gretsch.
They are cool, aren't they?
Well,
there's
not
a sound.
Until last night, right?
Yeah, there's a sound.
There's a sound.
There is.
I don't have that sound.
Yeah.
So, but I do like big bodied, the hollow bodies, you know. But anyhow, we'll get into that then. But that is a fantastic guitar. But I agree with you. There's times I have some guitars that have sat for a long time.
Yeah.
That it's not that I don't like them. Just right now I'm on to something else.
That's right. That's right.
I'll circle the wagons back. But
that's it.
The trick is you got it. That's a lot of times, you know what, if you have it, it's because you like it. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. And I was a little nervous about it actually because I wasn't getting along with it on stage. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And, you know, it's funny because when it was built the first time, right, the pickups and everything were built to the neck that was on it.
Right.
But we went with different woods and stuff. And I think it was just a combination of all those things. And so you building these pickups to spec to this guitar, I think really helped it come alive.
And I don't really take the neck into the account that much, but it's really the body construction that I try to think about, to be honest with you. I think that's where you can get it. And it's really subjective. There's people that think it's all the same. It's not all the same.
It's not all the same.
It's not all the same.
I mean, I know that for sure because alder versus this is a different animal.
Yeah, so
you can feel it immediately.
And it's interesting. I mean, we could do that as well, you know, especially with a Strat, because we could just take the same electronic assembly and go from guitar to guitar to guitar to show that difference with that type of thing. Maybe we'll do that sometime. But there really is. There's a different. That's why you have the different guitars. They don't all sound the same. They don't all play the same.
Yeah.
So they don't all respond the same.
Yeah, and this one I've definitely fallen in love with. This has been a cool experience because it's gotten better and better and better. And
so how long have you had that? I don't mean to keep interrupting.
Probably 20 years.
That's awesome.
It's a long time now because it was my first really good custom guitar, you know, and kind of wild to think about it because time flies, you know, and man, I love this guitar so much and played so many shows with it. And I was
brand new is why I'm asking.
Well, and that's what's wild. So I'm lucky because two things that I feel blessed for. I don't have corrosive sweat. So my guitars stay like new forever, which I'm really lucky for that because most guys eat through all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you can see there's some, like Jeff had the chrome wore off, and so he like shaved it off completely.
Gotcha.
You see how that looks a little different?
Yeah, that's okay.
So that I wore apart. And I was going to get a new one, but I was like, crap, it still works good. There's no reason.
What's wrong with it? And plus, you can get those individual parts. If you ever get to that point,
you
know.
I thought about it because when we were doing this, I was like, maybe I should get those blocks. And I probably will eventually, right? I saw them up on the website, but but it works.
Not me, man. I like things in their work clothes. It's hard to me. Really does look new, so I didn't really notice those saddle pieces until you said that. And to be honest with you, I'm still not really noticing a huge difference from here.
Yeah. So, if you look close, the chrome here, I had to peel it off. You know how it starts to flake?
Yeah.
And so, and then I asked Jeff, and he was like, "Well, I can just grind it off." And I was like, "Yeah, do that," you know, because I didn't want it. You know, it would get caught.
Yes, it's you got little razor blades there.
It is little razor blades, you know. But everything else has been pretty good. And then the neck feels like new because it is new. It's probably only a year or two old. And I had to I still kept the neck though, because that neck meant something to me. Sure. All the hours and years I played on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, at first he was like, well, I can shave and do a bunch of, I was like, no. I don't want to mess with that. You know, right. It's got all those hours. You go playing in it, and then it's just another mess I'm going to deal with, you know? So it was fun to get it, to kind of reinvent this guitar, and I'm happier than I've ever been with it now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that steel block was the final really thing that set it over the top, because although it sounded amazing just with the pickups, I think...
Oh, when I first heard that guitar in its form prior to us diving in on it, I thought, man, that thing is thick. This really didn't have a sparkle.
Exactly, right.
It's not that it sounded bad. I don't ever knock, you know, it's all subjective, so I'm not here to knock anybody's things. But to my ears, I thought, you know what, that should be a little more spankier, a little brighter.
Yeah.
You know, just a little more out there.
I agree.
And so that's the first thing I said to you. I said, I'm pretty sure I said,
you did.
That has a brass block in it.
That was one of the first things you said, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, probably I've gotten used to this over time because I kind of like darker sounds, but that's changing in me because I'm realizing, so I'm playing with cotton because to curb some of that anyways. And I notice when I hear recordings back, once I kick some of that in more mid-range and more presence.
I know, I was going to say that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man, presence knobs does this thing.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised because I never used it before. And now on this MK52,
right,
I always just set it at 12. So
gotcha.
I was probably using it there without really knowing how, you know, I just knew that Martin liked it. It seems like Martin's stuff, a lot of it is 12 o'clock.
Right.
Like he was just like, make it easy.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, sure. Why not, right?
And and it works, right? I mean, even all this, right? Like,
I know, I've noticed that most of it is pretty much straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the premise of this is we had some sound samples with this prior to whatever we were doing last week. And with the guitar, with your brass block, and now we have the steel block, we have the settings the same. So basically, this is going to be kind of a comparison, A being brass versus steel for the masses.
Yeah.
And then whatever else you want to do. But
yeah, exactly. And so what I can do to start it, I know a lot of those like low open chords really sound, you know, there's a difference in those. I noticed.
And remember we held the G note at the 12th fret?
Yep, I remember that.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and we did I think we did a few high notes. We did that. I think maybe even a couple of the other ones too.
You did, but there was one without vibrato. I'm pretty sure it was G at the 12th.
Yep.
And it was just let it ring to see, do we get a sustained increase?
Yeah.
I'm suspecting that it is.
I think so too, yeah. I noticed it in the A chord, so if I hit that.
Yeah, man.
It's a long time for just an A chord, right?
And with that being said, this is only a 5-watt amp, so it's not like we're getting artificial feedback or something sustaining that note.
You're right.
This is, and we're not facing the speaker or anything.
No, exactly.
That note's still ringing. Is what steel does.
Still going, right?
Yeah. And I'm a big component of that. I know there's a lot of debate on that, but Les Paul's the same way. There's a certain tailpiece, I swear, has to be on one.
Yeah.
And it's for that purpose.
You see, still going.
Yeah.
It's been a while now, right? No, it's probably not going to pick up all of that. Maybe it will. I'll try to enhance it so that you can. I just stopped it there.
That was a pretty long time. Now, I agree it stopped.
Yeah.
But
I stopped it, actually. It was still going in the guitar. I could, and I can feel it too. That's another thing. So on really good guitars, like my Sertelli, few guitars I own, when I hit an A chord or whatever, I can feel it resonate my chest.
Yeah.
That's a special guitar when it does that, right?
So,
and needs to do that, right?
How far would you like to go with that instrument?
Yeah.
Because there's another thing you can do too that I'm a big fan of.
What is it?
And that is direct mounting the pickups to the bottom.
Oh, I bet that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I thought that whatever until I did it.
Yeah.
And it was,
night and day.
Well, I should say night and day, but it definitely feels like it's all one. So right now, think about it. Those pickups are suspended by a plastic pick guard. There's not really engagement to the body. But the whole trick to sustain is to really collect the string energy.
That makes sense.
Basically, you want that vibration from the nut to the bridge and the whole body to absorb it, really. So when you have that final component, to me, when the pickup's mounted to the body, it's a thing.
Yeah, so, makes sense. Eddie did it too, right?
That's where, exactly. He did it out of necessity. Then, he didn't have a pickup ring. So,
but it worked.
So he just screwed it down. But it's funny because even the new Wolfgang hollow body, all those pickups are mounted to the body.
Wow.
Even though it has pickup rings.
It's still mounted.
Yeah. So there's something to it. And you can tell when you, just like you did there, when you mount those pickups solid to the body, anytime you touch that guitar, you'll hear it through your amp.
Exactly.
And that's the part I really like.
Yeah. And, I did see something recently that they were talking about Stratocasters, and I wonder if this is part of this, right? So guys are taking long nails and jamming them down through all the holes.
Okay.
To connect the energy.
Yeah, could
right?
be.
Which they're trying, right? Without mounting. I mean, you think it'd be easier just to take the pickguard off and mount it direct, right?
Well, so I know we're getting off on it, but the trick is you have to determine, and I've done this. So basically, the trick is you get your string spacing where you want it, and you got to measure the top of that pickup from the top of the pickup to the bottom of the string.
Yeah.
That's the distance you're going to try to capture. So when you disassemble the guitar, you got to know that distance.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You take whatever hardwood you'd prefer and glue it into the body because you want to have that transfer of energy.
Yeah.
And then I put a block in, and then I'll route that face down till I get that dimension I'm looking for from the bottom of the string to the top of the pickup. Because if not, if you just blow the body, it'll be way down.
It would be.
So you have to have it where you like it.
Yeah.
And then know that measurement from the bottom of the string to the top of the pickup.
So you actually keep the guard still there.
Oh, yeah, it'll all look the same.
You just glue
there'll be no screws in those holes. Or you could put screws there and nuts on the back side, just cut the rest of the thread off. So it has the look.
Yeah.
But really then the pickup is solidly mounted.
That's clever for sure.
Yeah, and I've done those things because I don't like to see an open hole.
Yeah, I get you.
So when I've made EVH style pickups for his first iteration, I've always hated when somebody has a hole there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would just make them, and there was no holes for the pickup mounting. I don't want it. If it doesn't have a purpose, it shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
So, but for something like that kind of guitar, that's exactly what I would do. I would just use the pickup adjustment screws and put a nut on the backside and cut them off.
Yeah.
And use Loctite so they never come off. But really, it'd be for aesthetic reasons. So you don't have this goofy hole
there.
Right.
It's not doing anything.
But it's so anyhow. You never know,
that's another rabbit hole I'd love to go down.
It's a good one. It's really
I'm on the quest. I'm on the hunt.
That'll be the. I can't imagine anything else not that guitar is not great the way it is, but I'm the same way. I'm always trying to push, man. I want everything across the finish line the best I can.
That's it.
So you never know, man. It might be. We could say, hey, Jeff, we need a piece of hard maple.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that's going to be coming for sure.
Yeah, I would do it. Why not? You're not going to hurt it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so I'm going to play it a little bit. And
yeah, please do, because I'm just
I love it too, So you can hear it's a thud, right?
Well, I'm really curious when we put that back. And I know the people at home are probably getting tired of me talking, but
this is what it's about.
I know
this is what we do. So.
But it's just, I'll be so curious to hear the A's and B's, because unfortunately we just can't do one sample and then shred everything and put it back together and say, hey, here we are.
I know
that's not what happened.
Yeah,
we have a week between the two. But luckily, all the gear was here.
Yeah.
So I always talk about hearing memory. So I'm very anxious to hear these, but.
Yeah, I think you had me play some chords too, like. So good.
So, and just so folks at home, I normally don't look at the camera. I like talking to you.
Yeah,
I will for this because this volume is low enough that I can hear the strings while you're playing. I can hear your pick on there. So this is not screaming loud.
You're right.
Because it's not going to come across that way. When it's played, you'll think it could be screaming. I can actually hear the strings as you pick them. But one example, and I wish I'd have thought about this, that I just heard you play, that I guarantee made a change, is how when you play the E chord and then you catch the lower, higher. how that rang out very prominently.
Definitely, you can
As
hear
if it was almost a compressor. There,
That's exactly right. Yeah, you do hear a big difference. It's much more prominent, and it also has like there's more balls to those notes too now. They have more aggression.
So let me ask you this. When Jeff and you put that block in, unfortunately I wasn't here for that, did that at all change your pitch of dive?
No, he said it didn't. So
okay. Because I actually thought about, I'm going to make another iteration of that now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wedge the top of it. So that way
so
when
you
it's
can
in the
still
body,
use the...
Yeah, so I was curious how far, it went from a thick block, but it had a pretty thick block in it. It was just brass, so I thought dimensionally they should have been the same.
It still worked. I used my weigh bars to test, and it still worked okay. Which I was I was a little nervous that it wouldn't, right? Because...
Well, I just didn't know if I had the clearance between the back edge of the block and the body.
Exactly.
But a future one, I'm going to mill off the very top section in like a 45 degree. So you have a taper there. So when that comes, it'll give you even more clearance to make sure that you can put your tremolo bar on the pick guard.
Exactly, right? All the way down.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, there's definitely a difference though.
Yeah.
Let me hit that 12 too. You do it again. The biggest thing I notice is I can feel the note differently, right? So like in my body, I can feel when I'm playing, which is a good feeling, you know? Not how guitars have certain ones.
Do that unison bend you do.
Yeah, you hear how much low end that has?
So there was a guy that posted a comment, which I was glad to see, that he was able to do that with his Soldano.
Yeah, Soldano will do it.
Yeah. So
that's a high-end rock amp.
Yeah, that was cool. But it was interesting because I've never heard, every time you've done that, I've never heard that bottom note that falls
You hear it
off.
now though, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't it wild? It's a lot of low end coming down.
What note is that that's doing that? Or is it something that's just generated?
It's generated from the harmonic dissonance of the two notes, which is wild. I wonder what the pitch is. Let me see if I can figure it out. It's crazy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell what note it is though. Might be a B.
So it's so odd to me that it's so cool.
Yeah, it is, right?
I spoke this last time. I thought, I wonder what is he doing? But once you pointed out that additional note that appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you really hear it like when you're on a 50, when you got a 50-watt iron or a 100-watt iron, it's in the room. It's like, whoa, you know? It sounds so cool.
Yeah, so anyway, I wanted you to try it there. So the end result is, so here's the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. Are you happy with the end result?
I love it.
Then that's all that matters, man.
It is all that matters.
Everything is subjective. I think if you have a guitar that's very bright, then put a brass block in it.
Yeah.
But if you have a guitar that seems a little dark or deep, then put a steel block.
That's great to know because I didn't know which way that was, but now I do. So brass will dull it down or it'll make it darker.
I think it will. And it's, I didn't invent this. I discovered it by thinking I was doing an upgrade. And I kind of spoke about that. But if you look at the vintage Strat blocks, they're a block of steel.
Yeah.
So I thought I was doing something good until I did it. And I thought,
what happened to my guitar?
It was horrible. But, it's just it just didn't work on that guitar.
On that guitar, right?
But it's not saying I have other guitars with brass blocks in them. So I'm not a guy that changes things just for the sake of changing it.
Yeah.
Some things, it's funny because people say, hey, what pickups do you have in there? That's one of the ones that come in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why didn't you change them? I said, well, because they don't need it.
They don't need change.
Not everything needs it.
I thought about that with the Silver Sky. Like, now that's a unique bird, right? It's a Stratocaster, but it's like a hyper exaggerated Stratocaster. And you get guys online complaining that the pickup, you know, the way they go in, they're not like swappable with other pickups without customization. And I was like, well, why did you buy a Silver Sky though?
Yeah.
This is the whole point of buying a Silver Sky was for that sound.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and that's why you have more than one guitar. I don't want two that sound alike.
That's right.
You know, so you have that selection. But it is funny. Not everything needs modified.
You're right.
Some things are great out of the gate.
That's it.
So I mean, I don't see you taking your 57 Strat apart.
Amen.
Right? You know, and I don't take mine apart either.
Yeah, because it sounds great.
It works. But when you get something different like that Silver Sky, that is the modern version of technology.
That's right.
In that form. So
yeah.
If that's what you like, that's what you get.
And I actually think that it sounds really great. I was really impressed with it. The more and more I play it, that's a guitar I would like to own, that blue one.
Wow.
That sounds fantastic.
Now, is that a U.S. version?
That's a U.S. version.
Okay, right on.
And a nice white maple board, like real, you know, usually most of my guitars are roasted, but it looks so pretty, that big white maple neck.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, sure.
And it's just going to be a cool guitar.
Right on.
So hopefully I can track it down eventually. You know?
Where's it at?
He has it here.
It's here.
But I just don't own it.
Got you.
You know,
okay.
I want to own it.
Yeah.
You know?
So good stuff, man.
Yeah. But yeah, you want me to do a little playing on this thing?
Yeah, I do.
And
absolutely. So I got a request. Do some more of the artificial harmonics on the G string. Man, they scream.
They do,
great.
right? Yeah.
It's never sounded better, man. It sounds great.
It sounds so good, right?
Yeah, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear that back, you know?
Yeah. So when you were playing, before I asked that request, I heard one come out. Oh, man, that sounded good.
Yeah, it's just, now it jumps, you know? You can really hear it, you know? You can really feel the thud in the guitar.
And it's still pretty thick guitar, to be honest with you. I'm just looking to see where the controls are at.
It is still thick. You're right. It still does have girth.
I think we were up here. I knew the bass was at, but these were about there. Yeah, it does. It has. Yeah, it's and that's a testament to the amp as well.
Yeah.
Well, now it sounds killer.
It does, right?
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know what else you need.
You don't need anything else. That's darn good, right?
That is really good, man.
That amp is amazing. I will give it to him. Like,
yeah, I agree.
All of his Cornford amps, I'm so happy with. I really am at that debating point where I just think there's no point for me to own the other amps, except for my Bartell or my 2-Rock for the clean stuff, which I don't really need.
I gotta tell
because
you,
the cleans are great on these. It's just a different clean, right? It's
the
just
Bartell's the tweed amp. Right? Yeah. I'd keep that one.
That one's special. Yeah,
just for nostalgic purposes, it's got that vintage thing going on.
It's special, man.
Mm-hmm. But them other ones, that 2-Rock, sorry.
Yeah,
that's just how I am. It's like, that's not that it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad amp.
Exactly.
But you already can achieve those sounds. So,
and I can't wait for you to hear my my other MK52's clean channel, because you'll be really shocked by that clean channel. There's something special. It's, I'm sure this will be like that too once it's done, because the KT88s, they're probably going to make that special.
I think it'll do something.
Yeah.
I have a Plexis, and I have a 73 that I actually put EL34s in it, but I did have KT88s in it as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, if you want to rather do that, it's up to you. Or if you really think you're going to like KT88s.
I'm really curious to try.
Okay, because I don't want to do the.
Yeah, I've never tried them, so I don't know. I mean, I've heard they're like a magical tube. Like there's a few guys who build. I'm trying to think of the names right now. Sean Lane's amp builder, which I'm going to forget his name right now. Maybe I can put it on the screen. But he builds the power of 10 amps. But he talks about how the KT88 is uniquely special. There's something about the headroom and the way the voicings are.
So it's funny in the audio world, people are looking for pristine sound. They use those.
Wow.
It's kind of it blew my mind to see that this is a thing for the audiophiles.
Yeah, exactly. For people with the record players and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, they want stereo.
Yeah.
Tube amps, KT88s.
Makes sense.
6550s. Yeah.
Tons of headroom. And, the big thing is the goal, right, is my 6L6 variant of this amp, I'm in love with. I'm so happy with it. If nothing ever changed on that amp, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. It just sounds so good. And so instead of making this a direct clone of that.
No, it's exactly just like guitars, right?
I don't
want every guitar to sound the same.
Yeah.
It's on the mood that dictates, So, no, I'm the same way. I don't have any two Plexis that sound alike. It's not that I had to make them that way. They all sound different.
They all sound different,
but, it's just cool, man.
It is cool.
So good stuff.
Yes.
Besides that, I'm going to interject some other things. I'm going to talk about the thing on the floor.
Let's do it.
We're going to have amp talk, and then we're going to get another amp out just for fun.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a cool project, and it weighs a ton.
It looks like it weighs a ton. Look at those transformers.
It's incredible. Yeah, so I'm going to turn it around.
Wowzers.
So here's the deal. I'll tell you the story. So I like, tube amps and everything cool. But I've mentioned before that everything has been done. It just gets repackaged now, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And the millennium, that everything is repackaged. It's been done.
Yeah.
So this is a prime example. This is an amp out of a church organ. And I
thought it was that. I was wondering if this is what this was.
I encourage everybody, man, if you see them on Facebook Marketplace, just get them, save them,
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of them. You wouldn't believe how many organs that I've stripped apart for nothing. They just want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But this was in a huge church in York.
Wild.
And I was really surprised. So I saw it, and I contacted them. I said, I can't just get rid of the whole thing, but kind of come and get the electronic portion. Like, that'd be great. We can get rid of the cabinet then.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they replaced it with. But the interesting part is this is a 1956 tube amp dual rectifier.
Wild.
So that whole dual rectifier stuff, there's a reason for that.
This and it's been happening for a while.
Yeah, so when you reach a certain power point, the rectification, it can't keep up. So you would have, what the rectifier does, you know what that does?
I don't know, actually.
I'll give you a heads up. So not a big deal. So you have AC power, it goes into the transformer. But the amp's going to run on high voltage DC. So to do that, you have to rectify that AC current to DC.
Okay.
So to do that, back in the day, they used a tube rectifier, which is really like a diode. Basically, it lets the current go one way. The AC goes like this, right, back and forth.
Yeah.
The DC goes one directional, right? So to do that, the rectifier tube was born. So, but it can only handle a certain amount of load. So once you get above that, you have to add a second.
Makes sense.
So this is dual rectifier, and it runs on 4 6L6s.
That's so cool.
So my thought process is, the interesting part is, so here's the power transformer. You can clearly see it's big, right?
Yeah.
This is the output transformer, But this other transformer is the choke. Now, normally the choke is about the size of an ice cube.
Yeah, look how big that is.
But this is the choke. So I haven't measured it to see what the Henrys are. There's a certain Henry's amount that I really like. So in induction, and basically what the choke does is once you convert AC to DC, you've eliminated the alternating current. So now you have a directional, but there's still what they call AC ripple, meaning so the AC wave is going to be like this. Now you only have half of that. You don't have it going back and forth, so to say. And this is just trying to paraphrase best I can. But what happens is you got to fill in those gaps and smooth it. So a choke actually is just a coil, an in and out, but that helps smooth out that signal. And then what else helps with that is the capacitors. So they charge and discharge. Yeah, no, we won't reuse these. Capacitors usually have a 20-year shelf life.
Because they're usually small, right? They're like that big. Well, they're not small, but they're
right. Yeah, so these are pretty stout.
They are.
But this is they just made them.
Look at the size of that thing.
So, and there's no preamp here. This is just the power amp section. Now, the cool part was I have the power amp as well, and it's gigantic.
The power amp or the preamp? Which one?
Sorry, the preamp. This is the power.
That's the power amp.
Yeah, but I also got the preamp out of it, and every key on that and every function on this huge church organ had its own preamp. So this thing is just a load of preamp. It's huge. It's like this gigantic amp.
That's nuts. You mean that every key had like a set of?
It's unbelievable. I have pictures of the thing.
Oh, you got to show that to me.
Yeah. So it's crazy what all the functions of this thing did. Now, here's the really cool part is speakers. It's hard to get good old speakers. So this thing's played on Sunday. I'm sure it had some practice time, but it isn't like you're cranking up your Marshall or Cornford or something. So in that is a set of 1956 Pete Jensen designed and probably built Analico speakers.
That's nuts.
And you get all this for nothing. This is why I tell everybody, man, don't let this stuff get thrown out, man.
That's crazy.
Get it. So you're going to get vintage gear that's functional that you can do something with.
Yeah.
So, and when I say Analico, some people say Anico or whatever. But basically, that's just a synonym, really, for aluminum, nickel, and cobalt.
Okay.
It takes those three alloys to make a magnetic property. With that being said, when you talk guitar magnets and stuff for pickups, there's a rating. And so there's now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. That is determined by the alloy used to make that particular magnet,
mixture,
which
right?
will determine the strength, right?
Yep.
So this helped them out. I gave them a donation because I felt like I'm robbing you,
Yeah,
so I'm getting gold, what I consider gold. So it goes back to that one man's trash, another man's treasure.
That is for sure. It is.
But what this is going to become, it is going to become the BluesBreaker.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So, because the speakers would be right, they're always BluesBreakers up until 66, 67, 66, really, by 67, they were all greenbacks. 66 was kind of some of the other. So these would be pretty true to form. So my favorite BluesBreaker circuit that hasn't been produced in recent times, no matter what the amp is called, there's the real one is 64 to 66.
That's the one I played, right?
Yeah.
That's a special amp.
After that,
it truly is.
It's still a good thing, but they went to EL34s, which is I love. It's great.
Yeah,
but it's not KT66 driven. And when you do that, the transformers are changed. It just becomes a different amp.
Yeah.
And then when they reissued it, so this is part drives me nuts. They didn't clock the transformers on the reissues. Now, what that means is, so if you look at this, you can see this side is longer than this side.
Yes.
So that means the coil is going like this.
Okay.
The output transformer is 90 degrees to that. So you can look at this and see that this is wound this way.
Yeah, that's right.
That actually has a matter for noise cancellation.
Because that's what Martin does too.
Yeah, sure. Everybody does. I mean, this is, and so that's it. This is 1956 they did it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not way ahead of the curve. Yeah.
But the reissue BluesBreakers from whenever they came back in late 80s or 90s or whatever, they're wrong.
They didn't do it.
No.
That's
and I
ridiculous.
thought, how can you do this? So I can't tell you how many of those I've corrected.
Oh, I bet you that was upsetting.
Well, it is kind of upsetting because now you got to drill new holes.
Yeah.
You got to figure out which one you're going to spin, and you got to clock one of them. If not, now, if you don't crank it up, maybe you don't hear it. But I can tell you it's going to be quieter if you turn them.
If you turn them,
So it's kind of interesting they did that, but
oh, that's awesome.
Either
that's
way,
the amp
that's going to be the thing. I'm going to use these transformers. Pretty much that's all I'm going to use. And maybe the rectifier tube, just one. I don't need both.
Yeah.
And then there's a really nice bias pot right here. I thought, well, I can repurpose that. But I make my own chassis, so I'll put this on my own chassis.
Yeah.
Because this is just, it has more holes than I'd ever need.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah, I've always wanted, that's the next thing. I'm trying to move some gear now, and I really do want a good plexi, and a good BluesBreaker.
Yeah,
those are two amps that I just love the sound of, and I don't own.
Yeah,
I mean, I have great amps, but there's just variations upon.
So, right. So I have, like we were talking about earlier. You have the new great stuff. I just have old amps, but it happens to be some of the right amps.
The right amps. But, I mean, that's where it all came from. I think Martin heard those amps.
Well, we all did.
Everybody did, right?
If you listen, you turned the radio on, that's what you heard.
Because you can hear that's going after that.
Sure.
Right? Like it's a higher gain version of it, but it's definitely going after that thud creamy.
Right. That is the launch pad.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the plan. That's definitely a plan for this. And those speakers will be a perfect match.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And my neighbor gave me a 412 cabinet, but for the Marshall MG series, so it's slightly smaller.
Yeah.
So my plan is to build a BluesBreaker in a head because this weighs some weight. I don't want to carry a combo around with this weight.
Amen, yeah.
So, and then 2 additional speakers and a cabinet.
That's a transformer.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. So I thought I'm going to use that cabinet, but take 2 of the speakers out and then either make plugs for the holes or see how it sounds.
Just as this. Yeah.
But I'm going to put those vintage speakers in there. And then it'll be pretty cool. So
it will be cool. I'm excited to hear this.
I gotta tell you, the BluesBreaker to me still. There's another thing that changed. The tremolo circuit, the one they make today, is not. The reissues are not the same. To me, that's the best tremolo.
It is.
It's slow as you want. It's subtle, and
I was blown away.
It works totally different than Fenders.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of lost because there's a component that's not. You can't find them anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So, but luckily, it took a lot of deep dive and data sheets, but I found the replacement. That's the one that you played.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's so rich. It's like harmonic. Like what I think of as like a harmonic tremolo. It's like real deep and resonant. And there's clips of me playing on YouTube. You can hear it even over the video, but in person, it's so captivating.
And the interesting part. That I know of, and I've tracked these amps. I've actually talked to another guy that has one. There's 3 of them that I know of in this country. The one is in Kentucky, and then the other one is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right now.
Wild.
It was Jim Marshall gave it to Roy Orbison of March of 1965.
It's so cool, man.
So this guy that I chatted with online, he ended up with it. And he sent me gut shots of it to look at it so I was trying to date it for him. So once I saw the components, I could decipher the codes. But the interesting part is that's the only one I've seen built in that fashion.
Yeah.
Basically, there's how the preamp tubes are laid out. Normally it's 3 preamp tubes, and then you'll have 2 power tubes, another preamp tube that was like an addition for the tremolo. Well, Roy Orbison amp's not that way. All 4 of the preamp tubes are in a row. And it's kind of odd because it's not an early one. It's not the earliest one.
Yeah.
It's just, but what I sum it up to was there was 2 guys making amps for Jim Marshall. One of them was Ken Brand, and the other one was Dudley Craven.
Okay.
So a lot of times they did this at their home or in the shed in the backyard making the metal parts. So one might have done it one way, one or the other, but that amp is the only one I've ever seen that has the 4 preamp tubes in a row.
That's interesting, yeah.
So when I do that, I thought about making it that way.
Yeah.
And I say why. And my chassis is it's exact measurement of the originals. The reason I say that is you have half of the tremolo is only utilizing half of the 12AX7. Okay. So that means you have another half that's sitting there idle.
You could use
I thought we could probably Randy Rhodes it or something.
Goose that in there, right?
Because that's make it selectable so you can have the vintage, but also kick it over a little bit.
Because that's all it would you need, I think. Because when I first played it, one of the things I was floored by is that you could run an A/B switch for the low gain and the high gain, right? And really get 90% of everything you need. But that little extra half F preamp tube would be that solo boost that you would usually use a pedal or whatever for.
So I thought about making a selector on it that changes it, because the reason that amp sounds the way it does is really attributed to component values. They changed them slightly, but really because it has what's called a shared cathode, and it has a bypass capacitor. I know I'm getting into goofy stuff, but
that's what it is, though.
Yeah, the bypass capacitor on that they were learning. So I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. Fender uses in those areas, and probably still today, a 25 microfarad. So the early Marshalls are anywhere from 250 to 300 or 330 microfarad. So with that being said, that's a huge jump.
That's a humongous jump, right?
So that adds gain to all your bassy sounds, and actually frequencies that the guitar doesn't even have. This thing can amplify gain to. So that's why it's real thick like that.
It is amazing sounding. I was blown away by how good it sounded.
So, and then later they still used it in the Plexi. The normal side uses the 250 to the 330,
really?
But the treble side uses a points or less than 1. 0.68. So
that's crazy.
My thought is to make them, and I've done it on other amps. I've made them selectable by a toggle switch, which changes like your voice switching. That kind of does that. Mm-hmm. But now I want to do it with a rotary, so we could take it from 45 to the and beyond, from the JTM 45 and beyond.
Yeah,
with selection of components on a rotary.
That would be fantastic.
So we'll see, but that is the plan for this. I want to keep it really as vintage, but I thought just a little hotter to be okay, almost like Dirty Shirley.
Exactly. Well, that'd be perfect. That's all I would ever need for solo. It's about that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of the greatest sounding amps I ever played, really, Tom.
And we played that on, and to do that, we had to play it on 10. I mean, you got to work it. Oh, absolutely. It comes alive.
But I didn't feel like 10 was obnoxious or anything.
No, it's a 30. They call them 45s, but really it's about 31 amp.
Yeah, it didn't feel obnoxious to me. Like it felt like the perfect volume, if anything.
Yeah,
to me,
it's just breathing.
Cooking,
it's breathing, right?
But I want it to cook.
Yeah, exactly. So it reaches that threshold. You play 10 on a modern day, or even a Plexi to a point, especially the modern ones after 1970. That 10 is it's beyond the threshold of being really good.
Exactly. I know what you mean by that.
That's why I say the magic spot's around 7, because beyond that, it's not musical.
Exactly. It starts to get funky.
Yeah. So, but the 45s can take that, because the 45 on 10 is probably like a more modern or a Plexi on 7.
Yeah. Which is funny.
There. So anyhow, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait to.
An interesting project, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I thought, you know what, this channel will force me to do that.
Amen.
I want to do it.
Show the underside of it too.
There isn't much in there, to be honest with you. It's cathode bias, so there's not really much in there.
I just like looking at old stuff.
It just smells old, but you look at these big monster resistors. These are awesome.
So they're so cool looking.
And look at these big bad boys. So it's cool stuff. And the other thing is why I like this.
What are those things right there with the springs?
I think they just have it coiled up like that. It's just going from one connection point to another.
Oh,
it's
really?
Just like a wire. Because it is I can pull it. It is a wire, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
So it's just how they have that, so they can pull or stretch it to what they need, I guess.
Wild.
Yes, but it is just making a connection from one to the other. But these are a capacitor, and these are resistors. And sometimes some of this stuff, if you're building something vintage, a lot of this stuff can help you, because not only do I have the whole wiring harness as well. So I'm going to use that whole wiring, the wiring from that. It's all color coded, nice cloth wire.
Yeah.
So I encourage people that want to build an amp, find these. They're out there.
Exactly.
Marketplace. Just look for organs.
Yeah.
And even if it's a solid state one, it still has good speakers. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that on another. There's another thing I want to build out of another organ, and it's a whole other story that relates to Fender and parts that are out there that you don't know.
Yeah.
So, but no, there's not much in here. So, either way,
that's fantastic.
And it's all about, we're going to take music and we're going to repurpose it to make
I love
music.
it.
Right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
And
man.
I hate to
can't
see
wait
something like this get thrown away. It'd be a sin.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, man. Golly.
Yeah.
It weighs a ton, so that's why it's got to go in a head.
It looks like it weighs a ton. It'll be beautiful once it's done.
Yeah.